Greetings, Tom.
G'day.
Welcome to the gym. We're going to be conducting a functional movement assessment today. So essentially, it's just about seeing how you perform certain movements. We want to see how you perform them naturally. So I'm going to demonstrate the exercise, but I'm not going to provide you too much guidance when you're doing it yourself, because I want to see how you move naturally and then see if there's any corrections that need to be made in terms of posture, movement, instability, that kind of thing. The purpose is so that we can address any issues that might exist, so that you don't injure yourself when you start training, and yeah, just find if there's any weaknesses that we need to address and that kind of thing. So does that all sound good to you?
Sounds good to me.
Happy to go ahead?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, cool. Cool, well the first... Alright, yeah, so the first movement is a squat. So, just going to do a body weight squat. So, just forming like so. If you prefer, you can have your hands out like this. Have them by your sides. Whatever you like. I like to have them like this personally. So that's what we're doing for the first one. So, do you want to go ahead and do that for me? That looks good enough to me. Can you just do a couple more?
Yeah.
Yep, perfect. Thank you. Alright. Next one's a split. Alright, the next movement is a split squat. So, just going to start with our legs apart like this. Back foot up on your toes slightly. And just coming straight down like this. And then we're going to swap to the other leg. Do the same thing. Just like that. Is that okay?
Yep. Swap.
Yep. Cool. Thanks for that. Alright, next one's a hip hinge.
Yep.
So, I'm just going to start the bar here and hinge with our hips, as the name suggests. Keeping that back nice and straight. Just like this. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
you just do a couple more for me? Yeah. Cool, thank you. Thank you. Next movement is a banded row. So, just come down to the ground. Losing this area off feet. Just pull it back. Give that a go. Yep. That's it.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. That's done it. The next exercise is a high to low row. So, grab the resistance band. And down to one knee like this. And then swing it back. And do that for me. Yep. So try bringing it, pushing your hands this way when you pull it towards you. So that your palms are facing up. Yeah, that's it. Okay, yeah. Okay, thank you. Next one's a push-up. So, just a regular push-up on your toes if you can. And just come down, touch the ground, push back up. Just like so. Thank you. Sorry, can you just do it up more for me?
Yep.
next one we have an overhead press. So sit on the bench like so. Weights on your shoulders. Yep. I'll go ahead and do that. Nice, thank you. Last one. Alright, and the last one we're going to be assessing is a trunk rotation. So you just sit on the end of the bench, have this 3 arms like so, and just turning. Just like that. Go ahead and do that for me. Cool. Thank you. We're rolling. Alright, welcome back, Tom.
Good to be back.
Alright, so we're just going to discuss the results of your functional movement assessment. So, as I said last time, the primary purpose is just to identify any inefficiencies you might have in the way you move, any postural problems, any muscular weaknesses, that kind of thing in certain exercises. We just want to identify those, see if there's anything we need to correct, and then prescribe corrective exercises just to ensure you don't injure yourself when you're training. So, in general, you did quite well. There was only a couple of things to note. The most noteworthy being the hip hinge movement. So yeah, you're supposed to maintain a neutral spine position, so flat sort of back. You don't want to bend the back forwards as you're hinging, which you did have a bit of a bend in the top of your back, so like your shoulders sort of coming forward. There was just a bit of a bend at the top of your back there. Really, that was the only thing you did wrong, but it is a very dangerous exercise if it's not done correctly, a hip hinge movement. So particularly if you load it with heavy weight, like a really heavy deadlift, that's how people always injure themselves. So you really need to maintain that neutral back. So so what I'm going to recommend for the time being is that you don't perform weighted hip hinge movements, so no deadlifts, no like heavy Romanian deadlifts or anything like that. We're just going to be doing like some simpler regressions of the movement and work you up until I'm more happy with the movement, and then we'll start doing weighted versions. So avoid deadlifts for now. Other than that, the only other things of note were in your high-low row, you just didn't quite you didn't quite pull back all the way, so your scapula, that being your shoulder blades, weren't completely retracted. So I think it was just a case of you probably weren't sure how far you had to pull back. So I'm not too concerned about it. It was just, you just didn't pull them back quite far enough. And with the overhead press, the only thing was that you didn't quite lock out your elbows all the way up, which again, I think that's more to do with the fact that you weren't sure about the exercise. I don't think it's due to a weakness or anything like that. You probably just didn't know you were supposed to lock out at the top like that. Yep. So I'm not too concerned about those ones. The hip hinge is the only one that concerns me. So, got a few exercises that I'm going to prescribe to correct that, which I will show you these and show you how to perform them, and then we can improve your technique. So, I've decided to give you a glute bridge for posterior hip activation. So I suspect that the reason your back is probably bending is just because you might have weakness like in your lower back and core sort of area, and just you might not have the mind muscle connection yet as well. It's very common. You're not alone in this. So that's the idea of the glute bridge. I just want to strengthen that area. We have prone Supermans as well, which is going to activate your lower back. So as well, that will hopefully strengthen that area, make the hip hinge stronger. And then we've got a movement progression called a tall kneeling hip hinge, which is basically just a simplified hip hinge movement that I'll show you how to perform. That'll get you into practice of how it should feel when you're performing it, and yeah, get that mind muscle connection happening a bit easier. Mm-hmm. So yeah, those are the 3 things I'm going to prescribe you to correct your movements, and yeah, I'll show you how to do those now.
Fantastic.
Cool. Alright, welcome to the gym. I am just going to go through the corrective exercises now and show you how to perform them. So, first one being the glute bridge. So, just lie down, bring your feet up to about where your knees naturally sit on the ground, and then hands by your sides on the ground, flat on the ground, and you're just rising up so that your body's in a nice straight angle. You don't want to be sagging, you don't want to overextend and arch that back. You want it in that nice straight angle so that your back's nice and straight. And then slowly lower yourself back down to the ground. So you should feel it through the back of your legs here. And yeah, that's what it's going to strengthen there, which will help you with that hip hinge movement. Alright, do you want to give that a go? Yep. That looks right. Cool. Yep, well done. Cool. Alright. Next one is going to be prone Supermans. So this will strengthen your lower back area, which as I mentioned, I think might be weak, which is why you might be overcompensating with rounding your back. So just lying on your front with your arms extended, toes on the ground, in sort of like you're going to do a push-up sort of position with your toes, and then you're just raising your arms and your upper body. So you should feel it through your lower back area here.
Yep.
Go ahead and give that a go. Yep, keep your feet on the ground. Yep. That looks better. A couple more. Yeah, perfect. Well done. And last one, tall kneeling hip hinge. So this is just going to familiarise you with the hip hinge movement, so you get that mind muscle connection, get a feeling for what it feels like, and it'll also work the muscles as well, but not in any way near as much as a weighted hip hinge, but something. So yeah, just going to be kneeling like so, with your feet up on your toes, and then you're going to push your butt back into the heels of your feet, back of your heels, I should say. And then as you do so, your torso should naturally lean forward while you maintain that straight back. So butt goes back, torso goes forward while maintaining that neutral back. That's it. We'll give that a go.
Yep.
Kind of rough on the knees, this brick floored gym. Yeah, so as you are going back, you want to lean forward. It's a hinging movement. So as your butt's going back, your torso should be hinging forwards. If that makes sense. So, yeah. Probably go a little bit more forward. Yeah, feeling that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's better. Yeah. Nice one. Perfect. Awesome. Cool. Well, yeah, with those in place, you should be strengthening, getting more familiar with the movement, and then I'll keep checking up on it, and then when I'm confident, we'll move on to weighted hip hinges.
Right.
Cool. Thanks, Tom, and I'll see you in the gym.